Memo! Memo, where are you? Mother, where are you?
Hide and seek, indeed. My father used to say, there are 1,000 ways to die.
This isn't fun anymore.
This is turning into like a creepy Doctor Who episode. Anyway.
Are you my mommy?
Are you my mommy? Anyway, this is Live Long and Podcast, and this is Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 9, Hide and Seek. This is the episode review for us. And of course, spoilers alert. We're going to be talking about everything to do with this episode. So if you haven't seen it, now would be a good time to stop. Should you have watched it? Yeah, it's better than last week's.
It's advisable.
It's better than last week's, and we've already committed now, so you might as well see the whole thing through. Well, let's just get right into it, shall we?
Shall we? Hi, Jody. I'm Dave.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I'm Jody, and this is Dave.
Hey,
I always get the cameras wrong. This way, there we go. All right.
You're over here.
Yes, I am. I am over there. I am exactly, and we may have Davan, joining us in a little bit, and I believe Adam isn't joining us because he's currently traveling.
He's traveling. You think with Davan being an hour ahead of us, he would be like more organized, an hour more organized.
But it turns out that he's actually an hour and 10 minutes behind us, generally.
Yeah. I don't get how it works, but
So,
he'll be
weird.
along.
Yeah, he'll be along eventually. But anyway,
Come out wherever you are.
Mommy,
Mommy,
to
are
play
you
hide
my
and
mommy?
seek. All right.
Nice.
Anyway, let's just get this a going, shall we? Whoops, there we go.
Yeah,
All right, so we open up to a shot of Rio still on the ship, with the annoying kid and the mom.
Teresa. What's the kid's name? I don't even know.
Oh, who cares?
I still
Who
haven't
cares?
learned his name.
Who cares? That's really what it comes down to. Oh, jeez. Here, hold on. Let me just get this bigger here.
Yeah,
I
so
can see it.
they're at the La Serena, which is crashed right outside Chateau Picard.
Yes, indeed. And, it is what it is. And he looks out and he's like, hey, there's some weird stuff going on. And all of a sudden, people are beaming in. And it turns out these are the Borgs from last week. So the
Borg
Special
mercenaries.
Rangers mercenary guys that got taken over by the Borg. They have significantly more, though, than they showed in the previous thing, which was a little weird.
They didn't seem very Borg-like to me. Their eyes aren't black.
No, they're very preliminary Borg, I guess, maybe.
They have green transporter beams and they have green like laser pointers on their rifles.
And of course, Jurati / Queen shows up as well, right on the ship. And the reason why she's there is actually, we don't realize it until the next scene, which is she's going after her old body because she needs the suit, I guess, that her old body is in, which all the nanobots that are in it. So she basically finds her old body and she makes like this little crack about
there was naked Jurati for a moment too.
There was naked Jurati, yes, but only the backside of naked Jurati. But she's looking good for her.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we end up coming across, and then she makes a reference to how she's looked better. Obviously looking at her dead body. But anyway, so she's looking over it. Now I have to give them. I don't know if they're doing this in post production. The stuff that's on her face, or if that is actually makeup. But if it is makeup, it's fantastic. Like they did a good job on that. It's very defined.
Yeah, like on both
cool.
Both of them, like on Annie Wershing and on.
Annie Wershing looks great. Yeah. So,
yeah, like it. I like that.
As great as a dead Borg can be, I guess. But it is what it is.
The Borg update for this decade is good. I'm on board
I do
with
like it. Yeah. So anyway, these tentacle things come out of Jurati, and all of a sudden, these nanites are essentially, deconstructing the outfit that's on her, and then it shows up on Jurati. So you can see it starting to form there. And now she has the outfit. Now, this I think just kind of confirms that who they were fighting in the
episode
first
1?
episode is probably Jurati.
Certainly is. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because who knows? Maybe this is a standard garb for all the queens that are out there. We could have a beehive type situation where every hive has its own queen. I'm under the impression there's only one, but who knows?
Okay, but like I think one of the big things I think this episode is really setting up for me and what it is, we were talking about butterflies and how much they can change the timeline or not and whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that they run into that queen in episode 1 who we can't see her face and she wants to join the Federation and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And so we're pretty sure that is Jurati. So it seems like they were always meant to go back in time. Like there's sort of a predestination paradox here. And so they can't really change the past because this has always been part of the past.
Yeah, it's like Back to the Future and the black truck, right? Like it's, Marty's always going to get that black truck, and he would have had to go into the past to go back to the future to get the truck. So
yeah, like this is
it's that whole paradox time travel thing.
Yeah. Right. Like you were sort of meant to go back in time.
Yeah,
this was a destiny.
This was part of the actual timeline, was to go back in time in the timeline. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, crazy paradoxes and all that stuff, all that jazz.
And under those time travel rules, you can kill anybody because it was always
do
meant to
anything
happen.
you want. It don't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, now I didn't get the John Woo-esque scene with her walking away from the table. I don't know if you noticed that, but they did this kind of John Woo style thing where they slowed her action down to keep her on screen a little bit longer as she's walking by. It looked really stupid.
In the medical bay?
Yeah, in the medical bay as she's walking away from this body after she's got the new suit on. And
yeah, I have like why is it doing that?
Oh, wow. Oh, now we're all gone. Oh, there we go. But yeah, it was very John Woo-ish. Reminded me a lot of John Woo.
Yeah, I took a few shots of my own here and like this is like when she's coming back.
Just after this is when the camera the frame rate slows down and it kind of just shows her.
Yeah, sorry, we'll go back to yours.
Doing this thing, so it was kind of weird, but anyway. So then we go back to a scene with the outside of Chateau Picard. At this point, they just beamed basically in, while the Yaris version of beaming, or what's her name?
Talon. Yeah,
Talon.
like
Talon's transporter beam.
Just
thing,
like this
you have
purple
that,
smoke thing or whatever is going on.
Yours is better. But yeah. So anyway, and then we see all these Borg drones essentially getting beamed in, or at least the Neonite versions of the Borg drones.
Well, these are just like their laser pointers on their guns, right? That's kind of.
Well, no, these are the transport beams as they're. Showing up,
it's kind of, well, yeah. Like
I do got a scene where later on you see the laser pointers, yeah. And then all of a sudden there's a dialogue with Jurati outside of her body, and now the Borg Queen looks like the Borg Queen, which I guess is kind of reminiscent of what we saw earlier, where it was the other way around, right? Yeah. It was Jurati and the Borg Queen was sitting beside her. Now it's the reverse, right? Which I guess is a neat little nod. But the dialogue here is pretty cool. I thought it was interesting. It's long though. It almost gets to the point where it's too long. You're like, okay, next scene. But then we find out that the flight controls for the ship have been encrypted, and Jurati, being as smart as she is, she figured out how to do it without memorizing the code. So she actually doesn't know the code. So therefore,
change the password.
She can't give her to her if she wanted to, because she doesn't know what it is. We find out later who has it, but certainly that's where we're at. And then we get this. Now keep in mind that this has some sort of. The director just keeps jumping back and forth between these two things. We go to the Borg and Jurati talking, and then all of a sudden it goes back to the fight scene. Then it goes back to Jurati and them and talking again. It's like there's
don't forget about the emergency security hologram.
Yes, I actually didn't get that, and I just noticed
I
it
have
at the end. So if you have it, you flip over. So it turns out Jurati can turn on the emergency combat hologram, which turns out to be. Yeah, and she figured out that anybody who's ever been on the ship can be duplicated. So what better person to duplicate than the guy who has barely any scenes in this series, in this season? Yeah, Elnor. So Elnor, now obviously Elnor being a very good hand-to-hand combat specialist, the man knows how to kick the crap out of stuff. So at this point he's basically engaging all these mercenaries that are around Jurati. And basically just kicking the shit out of everybody. He's doing a great job. And he's running around the ship and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. So very, very cool thing. The one thing I did notice, actually, can you go back to that shot for a sec?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there you go. Is we have the the same technology that they used in Voyager to get the medical doctor to be able to.
Oh yeah, he's got
freely.
the little mobile emitter there. Yeah.
Mobile emitter, yeah, which is cool to see that because obviously in the future technology, this is something that they would.
But he wouldn't
using
need
more
it
and more
because
now.
all of La Sirena is a holodeck.
Yes, but it's just in case he has to leave, right? So I guess it makes sense.
He can leave the ship with it. Yes, but
he can leave the ship with it if he wants to. Yeah. So maybe I guess that was just something. Well, and I also think that's something that they didn't address in this episode. So I'm willing to bet we're going to see more of holographic Elnor.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's also just to remind us he's a hologram, and it's not the.
Well, it could be that too. Yeah, it could be that too. All right, let's go back to mine, I guess.
But the firefight.
The firefight, yeah, we got some shots of the firefight. I thought the firefight was pretty cool. I did notice that they cheaped out on it though and didn't show me the actual soldiers in the distance, which is probably a good call on their part because let's be honest, do we need to see that? Probably not. But we got some cool little laser pointers, going towards everybody. And what is it? Taurus?
Talon.
Damn it. Why always screw these names up? So Talon, quite the badass when it comes to fighting, man. Like she definitely wields the phaser, no problem.
So these were like Romulan weapons she brought from home? I got the impression.
Well, one of them is the gun that they brought. So it's one of the phase pistols that they brought, and then that I guess is a gun that she had at her because she said she didn't have time to grab everything.
She gives like 1 to 7 at some point, and it's like this is all I could get.
Yeah, that's the original gun that 7 and Raffi had. Right? Okay,
that they took from the weapons locker. Okay,
yeah. So with that, but anyway, we got to see badass, some badass moves here, and then we go into this scene where. And this is the problem that I have with the episode. The big problem that I have with this episode. Oh, there's Davan there. Hello, Davan.
Hello, Mama.
Mama. Hello, Mama.
Hello, Mama.
Want to play hide and seek?
Lemonade, Mama.
Some lemonade. Mama. Anyway,
Mama.
So that's the big problem that I have with this episode is there's a lot of flashback, and a lot of it doesn't tell me anything I don't already know. So it's really just filler. And that's the thing that bothers me. Yeah, I would love to hear your opinion on that because the only thing that I think we actually got out of this was near the end, which obviously we'll talk about when we get there. But that's the only flashback that really was useful. Everything else really wasn't useful. Tell me why this is useful, Davan.
This
particular scene
here.
Well,
it builds the relationship between his two parents a little bit. It gives because we didn't really get that. We haven't gotten any of their just kind of.
Well, we haven't seen any of it. Yeah,
not much. Glimpses.
And then
because there is the scene where he's like hovering over her as he's talking to her, right? So
and he's just like, you haven't had an incident in a while and stuff. Which we thought it was the other way around. We thought he was just this like rage maniac and poor.
Well, we learned that back in another episode though that's not the case. She's actually. She's got problems, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously she has ultimate problems later on. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I liked James Callis.
Oh yes, well, I'm not.
He's a
don't
great
get me wrong.
actor.
I'm not complaining with having him in there.
I don't think that we have bad acting in this show at all, but I do sometimes wonder what the writers are trying to do with all of this. Like,
me too.
Oh wow! I'm gonna be the devil's advocate tonight, boys.
Go ahead. Like it's all good.
The whole point
if you can help me understand where the hell they're going with this, like why this was such an important.
I actually thought this episode was beautiful. I would use the word beautiful.
Interesting.
Really? Okay.
I just finished watching it.
There's scenes of it that I think is good. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, let's keep going. So anyway, this is a childhood memory, and this, as Davan just said, kind of explains a little bit more of their the relationship between the parents and Jean-Luc. But I didn't get much out of this other than that, I guess, and only because you mentioned it again. Quite honestly,
let me say something here.
Go for it.
One thing I like about this, and maybe it's going to come up a bit more later, but. The fact that Jean-Luc's father is quite a reputable fella and not, the contrary as we may have been led to believe early. Mm-hmm. And that makes more sense with what we've known from past TNG. Like, because Robert, it was a bit older than Jean-Luc, quite a bit older than Jean-Luc, so would have been more aware of what was going on here, likely, between the parents. Yep. And
But Robert was also protective of his brother.
But he idolized his father.
He idolized his father and definitely subscribed to his.
His father was this,
yeah,
kind of problematic fellow. He probably wouldn't have idolized him as much.
Yeah.
Is that replicated?
So, all the things in this episode that seem weird seem to tie in to the past TNG stuff.
They did do a great. Yeah, they definitely did a good job on keeping a lot of the stuff. The one thing that bothered me, which I clued into a little bit later, was the nod that they did to, I guess it was in the first season of Next Gen. There's a scene where he sees his mother, and she's old, and she tries to get the tea and stuff like that.
I was mad about that too, and then they have
there's a callback to it, but now it makes sense.
They threw that line in, I think, just to appease like the fans,
But you know what? That was well done.
It appeased me.
Basically, what they said was, I always pictured her growing old and offering me tea, and it's like, well, yeah, because
and asking me for a conversation, which was literally that entire scene from TNG.
He was hallucinating and he saw his mother and she was old, and she offered him tea to sit down in the middle of the corridor.
That was maybe a little convenient, but I liked it anyway. I thought it was.
You know what? The fact that they at least acknowledged the fact that would be there, that was good. They did a good job.
But on the other hand,
until that line.
Like on the same standpoint, I was like, they threw that line in and I was like, okay, you explained it away. But then I'm like, where's Robert? He's not even addressed in any of these flashbacks, any of this season. He's kind of like,
but Robert's older. He could be already living away. He's living
fine,
away somewhere.
but like, if you're gonna throw a line in like, oh, I pictured her as an old lady, like, why not just say, well, Robert's not here, he's off at school or something. Like, they kind of present Jean-Luc as an only child in a lot of these flashbacks.
True.
Which I find odd. Because I thought that one episode with Robert family was a really strong TNG episode and part of the kind of the backstory of
Brothers.
One of the best.
One of the best. Brothers or something.
Brothers is a different episode.
Okay. Family is the one. Yeah, family.
It's right after Best of Both Worlds.
Two episodes all the time.
Yeah, and that's the one where they wrestle in the mud, right?
That's where they wrestle in the mud, and then they kind of
great episode. Man.
It is a good episode. Yeah, it's a really good episode to follow the sheer terror thing that was going on in the 2 episodes previous to it too, which was good. So it was a good way to kind of mellow that out a bit.
Jean-Luc and the listener and the viewers.
But anyway, I think they did a good job matching the kid. I think the kid, he makes me think he could be Jean-Luc when he was little. That's good. His mom's really kind of creepy in my opinion, but I think that was on purpose.
She's got issues, man.
Yeah, she's got issues.
She ever.
But anyway, so then we flash back to, obviously back to reality for a minute, where we realize that Rios has been hit. And at this point, Jean-Luc's like, I think it's time for you to piss off. You can use Tarans or Taurus's or whatever her name is.
Talon.
There you go.
You know what? Sorry, Doug. I gotta rewind for 1 second.
Go for it.
Whole family thing, dynamic with Picard thing was actually extra tight, I think, because in the episode Family, whenever they're talking about their past, they never mention their mother.
No, never.
It was just like, you always broke father's rules,
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, it does make sense that she wasn't around.
Or when she was around, she wasn't in charge because clearly she shouldn't have been in charge. So that also makes sense as well.
Yeah, that makes sense as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just trying to get this going, guys.
Sorry, I'm gonna be full of tangents tonight.
No, that's fine. We'll just cut you off when we need to. But are you drinking lemonade?
Yes.
It's not replicated. Father wouldn't have it.
Father wouldn't have
replicated.
No. But anyway, so they could use what's her name's teleport technology thing to go back to.
We've been trying to tell you her name for 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's never gonna kick in. Don't worry. Anyway, they beam themselves back to her cool little hipster apartment, and then he realizes that he's been locked out. And he can't go back.
Picard's like, turn it off, Talon, once you beam Rios out of here. Like he's kind of willing to.
He doesn't want him to come back. Yeah.
But
but at this point, he knows he's injured. It's going to be worse if he comes back. He gets that, and he's
access denied.
Oh, I already got that one.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
is that Klingon? It's written in underneath.
It's Romulan.
It's Romulan.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Romulan. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we go back to these two, and they're trying to hold down their own. At this point, they're separated. They decided to be separated earlier. So I didn't mind the scenes with Raffi and Seven in this.
They were really good.
That were going on. I like the little Janeway nod. I thought that was cool too.
That was awesome that she went to bat for her, man.
Yeah, Janeway went to bat for me, but turns out not. Didn't go anyway. But when you think about it, it makes sense, because why would the Federation allow somebody who clearly at one point was tied to an enemy, and who could technically still relapse back into that enemy and has some of their technology in? Why would they let her in?
Well,
right.
Okay, but then why would they let Icheb join Starfleet?
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. No, there's something else probably there too, but who knows? But anyway, and again, we get.
It's probably because she's like she doesn't
Talon?
listen to anybody.
I think Seven of Nine, her problem's not,
and they're like, oh, Seven never listens to anybody.
Yeah, she kind of goes on her own tangents. She's got a bit of like a savior complex, I would say. 7 of 9, and
she's not very Starfleet, really.
Right.
I wonder if
Kate my big problem with this episode
actually saw that.
Tell me if you feel the same. The CGI was real bad in this episode, right?
I didn't.
What in
see
particular?
anything that was
all of it. All of it. I felt. I felt like they spent all their CGI money in the first few episodes.
The CGI was not my issue with this episode.
It was my issue with this episode.
Anyway.
And those super, I don't know about the Borg guys.
No,
well, Dave said that earlier. Like, they're not really boring.
They were lame. Like,
they're pretty
just
boring.
They're just there to be.
They're just mercenaries with weird paint on them. Yeah.
Seeing the green lasers was cool.
Yeah, but they're just green sight lasers. We these exist. This is nothing exciting. If anything, it's actually, from a tactical viewpoint, it's terrible, because now the enemy knows exactly where you are.
Yeah, but that's what the Borg do.
Yeah, well, I guess. But anyway, I think it was just supposed to be a nod to the Borg. But anyway, so then obviously Adam Soong shows up, and of course now he's Mr. Badass guy who wants to get his instead of his comeuppance, he wants to be famous and awesome and stuff like that.
Why does he want the I'm with Picard. Yeah, Picard asks earlier.
Why this parlay?
Why this parlay? Why are they negotiating with Picard? Why is Adam Soong? What is he trying to get out of Picard other than they want the ship? But Jurati, Borgatti, whatever, she already has the ship.
Borgatti.
I don't really understand why this.
The only thing I can think of is Picard has to be taken out, because if Picard's not taken out, then
exactly.
Then he is a threat to what could happen, right?
Yeah, I thought
so. Maybe he's the one that actually does do the thing.
I thought what is it again? Borgatti? I thought Borgatti's whole plan
sounds like
was
an Italian
I can
sports
get
car.
you a parlay with Picard, and I have a weapon for you to murder him with. I thought that was her whole plan.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan.
He was just gonna walk up and murder Picard. That's what I was expecting the whole time.
Who was Borgatti?
Wasn't that the plan? Yeah, that was her plan.
She never even gets near him in this episode.
No, Borg.
We can make Adam
Borgatti
Soong
says
dance.
to Adam Soong, I can get you a parlay. I can get you a meeting with Picard in like 20 seconds, and I can give you the weapon to like kill him.
Right, but like Adam Soong's like, please surrender.
I take the path of least resistance to the future.
His whole plan was to kill him. I don't know.
I did like some of the dialogue between Adam Soong and Picard, though. I thought some of it was quite neat, especially when he was like, essentially like, you're an asshole, basically, but he said it all nicely.
Yeah, he's like, hello, and then Picard's like, go to hell, go to hell, Ramon.
I'm surprised he didn't flip him the bird or anything.
Is the show better without Q?
No,
I dare say it.
No.
I like his scenes, but like the episodes that Q isn't in tend to be better.
No, I don't agree. But anyway,
Jody always loves his Q. If Q's in
there
it,
is no better character in Star Trek than Q. I'm sorry.
Disagree.
It just it's fine. You can be wrong. It's all right. Anyway,
well, we can all have our perspectives. That's for sure.
It's true, even though yours are wrong and mine is right. But anyway.
Some people like vanilla, some people like chocolate. You know, what do you do?
Yeah, some people are boring, and some people like
omnipotent beings.
That's right. But anyway, I do love how Seven is very tactical, and they still show it, which is great. Jerry Ryan, who I don't know how old she is now, but she's aging very well, and doing great, and she's still keeping up with all that stuff,
right?
Yeah, she's still keeping it all up. But the fight scenes, when you see Seven doing the fight scenes and you see Raffi doing the fight scenes, there is clearly a difference in how they've aged when it comes to fighting.
54 is where Jerry Ryan's at today.
Yeah. I wonder how old Raffi is. But anyway.
What's the actress who plays Raffi?
Michelle Hurd.
Michelle Hurd. She is 55. They're about the same age.
They both look great for their age. Let's be honest.
Friggin' right they do.
But Seven really stood out to me as being the action one out of this show. Other than obviously Elnor.
That's her character too. Again, Seven was always ready for a fight.
Yeah, but I'm just glad that they kept that, because they could have easily just kind of made her as the one that walks around and once in a while tumbles, but they didn't. They kept her the same. Which is great.
This Fenris Rangers thing. Like it's kind of weird to me that she tried to join Starfleet, because the Fenris Rangers seems more like her.
It makes more sense for her to be in something like that. Yeah.
Something.
So there's a lot of fights now. This scene I thought was incredible. This was a cool scene where they're fighting. One of the drones, and Raffi's trying to stab him, and she can't. Like, she just can't overpower him. And then, Seven comes over and holds the knife and starts pushing it down with her. And they both kind of kill her together in some sort of weird ritual type thing.
I think, to me, like, all of this was just like they Borgified these mercenaries so that, because I think Seven has a line earlier in the episode when the fight starts. She's like, they're Borg. It's okay to kill them. Right.
Yeah.
But Jurati, she's not okay to kill because she's our friend and we need to try to save her, even though she's the Borg queen. And so, therefore, different rules apply. I'm like, what?
Dave, that's a long-running theme in Star Trek.
That's normal in Star Trek. Yeah.
You can save Picard, but you have to shoot Ensign Hawk. Like,
yes,
you know what I'm saying?
That's fine though. I didn't want Ensign Hawk anyway.
Or Ensign.
Unless you're a captain, you're a Borg.
Yes, this was Ensign Lynch, and then Lily's like, "Tough luck, Lynch.
Yeah, tough luck, And he's like, meh.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like the scene. I thought it was a cool scene. I'm glad they put it in. It also showed the fact that the two of them try to work as a team, which is something common theme we've seen throughout this season, is the two of them kind of working. And then we go back to another flashback scene again. And again, I have the problem with this because we're literally the second last episode of this season. And I'm still stuck on these damn flashbacks that I keep seeing, and they're the same fucking things that I keep seeing over and over again. I keep thinking that they literally have made 20 minutes of stuff, and then the rest is just recycling stuff that they had. Like
a couple of these repeat ones, I can.
Yeah, like this one's a total repeat, and it's I don't need it. Like I get you're trying to establish. I know that they're doing it because they want
into the episode.
Yeah, they want to, because the big reveal later on, they want to make sure that I have some sort of sympathy for it, right? But
fresh context in your mind.
Seems so out, yeah. So anyway, and Picard's talking about this memory that he keeps having and stuff like that. And then we're back to these two again. Now this was another scene. I really like the scene where they're about to run through the field, and there's all these guys there, and basically their response was, well, we have a knife and I think a flashlight or something, they said.
Well, they kind of they kind of like also say that we're probably not going to make it out of
this.
That's
the thing I liked, is because she's like, well, we're probably not going to make it. And then Raffi just kind of looks at her and goes, yeah, but they're going to do it anyway, right? Now, in reality, let's be honest, they probably wouldn't have made it, right? There's a lot of guys in that field.
A lot of guys with guns, and they have a knife.
Now, unless these guys went to the Stormtrooper, academy for shooting guns, one of them's bound to hit them. Like, it's like odds are like automatic weapons in a clear field.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like movie hero plot armor,
of course. But anyway, I did like the fact that they took a pause there for a second though and said that, and I like that. I thought that was cool. And this kind of very disturbed kind of grin that Michelle Hurd does for her character, I thought was kind of cool too. It was just kind of like, okay, let's do it, very nervous.
Facial emoting
nervous,
is
but
definitely one of her things.
She's good at it.
Really good
She's good at it for sure.
Yeah.
And I like how Seven's kind of got this like, devil may care type attitude to her at this point.
She looks happy.
Yeah, she's just like, all right, let's go not get killed. That'll be fun, But anyway, I like that. And then you see them running and they got their war faces on and they're doing their quick scream as they're doing it. And you just see them kind of running through the field, getting shot at and stuff like that. But like, there's no way in reality that they're going to make it through this. But, of course they do anyway, because they're the heroes.
Look how tall that grass is, Jody. They're weaving through the tall grass.
Yeah, with like 12
Are they
guys
velociraptors? Like
12 guys with laser pointers. Like, how could they miss?
Very much like velociraptors. That's a good point you make there, Joe.
Now, the one thing I did like in this episode was every time Jurati entered, she always entered ahead of everybody else, which kind of shows that royalty prominence thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but I like that they did it, and that's what I was trying to capture here. She's got people right behind her, but we always see her come into frame first before anybody else does, which I thought was really cool. And then, that you see them, they're still trying to hunt for Elnor. Elnor's kind of dodging around and stuff like that, being all cool. And he's going through the weapons locker and he finds like a little hand phaser, and then he finds a rifle and he's like, oh, this might do. And then he goes to the next locker and he's like, all right, I got my sword. It's time to get my shit on, So, and he's going nuts. But I like the Elnor scenes. I thought they were great.
Like
you got a better one. Yeah.
See, that's funny. I was gonna hate that. I felt like I should hate that, and
I felt like I should hate this the whole time, but I really liked it.
As soon as they said the word command, what was it? Command combat.
Dave's got a gripe.
Hologram.
I got a gripe here about
he's got the gripe.
Emergency combat hologram. Yeah.
Because he's not just a hologram. He seems to have the memories of Elnor. He even says that. Yeah, he's like, his last thoughts of were not of blame, they were of love. Like, how the fuck do you know? Are you a psychic computer?
Well, didn't they mention that earlier in the season though? After Elnor died, they said that they downloaded his consciousness or something.
How the hell does that work?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
anyway,
I mean, the X-Men do that now, but we're on Star Trek here.
This ship is like telepathic.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Lost.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they'll explain it. I thought they mentioned something about that
episode. But the hologram itself, just like kicking ass, I enjoyed that more than I should have.
But the hologram could just observe the the things that were happening on the ship when he was alive, and it was monitoring all the security footage and stuff like that. And
but he's like,
made a personality based on that.
I'm sure we could dream
up
an explanation, but like based on what's been already,
they should be telling us the explanation. Yeah, I agree.
We better get one for that. That's
it's just odd to me. Like I feel like there was a lot done here in this season to include actors like Evan Longoria, who plays Elnor, and the one who plays Soji, and Brent Spiner.
No, you're setting off another tangent, Dave. You're setting off another tangent.
Because like they're like, well, we have to fit these actors into the story somehow, even if and we're gonna do it whatever way we can think up. And sometimes I find it distracting and sort of contrived.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with this season. Is they're finding so many ways to have the same actors play as many different characters as they can. It's
the whole Brent Spiner thing all over again.
Like I think every character except Picard has played more than one character this season. Oh, and Raffi.
Even Picard he played the alternate version of himself earlier this season.
Yeah, that's
where
true.
He was
no, it's just Raffi. You're right. It's just Raffi.
Right. That's the only one really that we've seen.
Anyway, let's move on.
It's distracting.
So I got a nice little shot here of this, and we have a timer counting down on this thing. So I'm not totally sure why.
What is the countdown?
Well, they didn't explain it,
exciting.
But it's there, and they've showed us a couple times, which leads us to believe that maybe this is the countdown to liftoff of the Europa mission. Maybe.
Damn it! You guys are souring me on this episode. I came in.
I'm not trying to be sour. I'm just.
I just don't know what it is. It doesn't bother me. I just would like to know what it is.
Not even just.
I'm guessing it's probably the countdown to when the Europa mission starts. That would be my guess, because she's supposed to be tracking that as well, right? So maybe that is what it is. I don't know, but anyway. So, you got something?
No, keep going. I don't want to
keep going.
don't want to sour Davan on this.
All right, fair enough.
No, do
So
it,
anyway,
do it.
we have. Oh no, don't tell him that because then it'll be 10 minutes. But so anyway, we see Rios here, and he's like, "Oh, I can hack this thing that I don't know anything about, but I can hack it, no problem. So I'm gonna hack it." So anyway, he's trying to hack it to make it so he can go back. And they have this nice little discussion. She's like, "Oh, this tricorder thing is amazing. It's like having a whole ER in your hand." Which is obviously accurate. It's a diagnostic equipment and it does all those things, which is cool. She was pretty impressed with it. I did try to get as good of a shot as I could. So we get a skeletal
like
version, which
she was like, just because I gave you anesthetic doesn't mean you're good to go or whatever. A bullet hole in your arm, I'm sure would hurt a lot.
Yeah. So the only thing that I have a problem with this tricorder is obviously this is a Romulan tricorder. This isn't like a because we can see the characters on it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But when that covers down, the top screen I guess is accessible, but the bottom screen only like a third of it is accessible. From a designer's viewpoint, why the hell would you do that? But anyway, that's just my thing. But if it's supposed to protect the screen, it's not going to do that. So what the fuck is it for? I don't know. But anyway,
I can't answer that. But
me neither. But anyway,
Romulan intrigue.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I didn't get a picture of was when we saw Picard go down into the catacombs, he used this little thing. I didn't have that, unfortunately. I noticed that after I took this part because I tried to.
I guess that's like the rationale for why they're showing us like a lot of these flashbacks is because Picard has to find the secret passageways that they're going to need in this episode to
which
hide.
Which is the fleur-de-lis, which is okay, great.
Fleur-de-lis. And they're going down into the
so they turn this thing and then this bookcase moves over and then you can access it, but then later on Brent Spiner's character walks in and he's like, there it is. Like
he like looks at the ground and he's like, I think they've been through these. He's like quite the detective here.
And then he's got this stupid shit grin on his face too, right after he moves it, and he's like, he reminds me of like the bad guy from like Rocky and Bullwinkle, where he's like twirling his mustache and shit. It was kind of weird.
There's a shot of him here, like, oh, I know what's going on.
Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. So anyway, so then we get another flashback, and this time, it's now Jean-Luc talking to his mom again. And then he gets the flashback of the same damn thing that we've seen before, which is that white room door. We don't know where it goes. And then we're back to Brent Spiner's character again. And then we see Picard, and Picard is going through old munitions boxes to find something. You don't know what it is yet. And then he shows up, and sure enough, it's a PK. Which let's be honest, if this thing was still there, is it in a firing condition? Probably not. Is it loaded? Probably not.
I don't know enough about guns to.
No, but they're in a wine cellar. A cellar meant to preserve things.
Yes, but wine cellars also have one thing that metal doesn't like.
Water.
Moisture.
Okay, so because this has been like, this gun has presumably been there since World War II, so it's like an 80-year-old gun.
Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know the rules of
it
guns,
might fire.
Now with maintenance, it would definitely fire, no problem. But
but
the fact is, not only does he take a shot, he takes a bunch of shots.
In the world.
Yeah, he takes a bunch of shots. One of which is him on one shot shooting out a lock.
Yeah,
I know that Picard was quite the gunshot.
I've never seen
Jean-Luc Picard
on the holodeck when he was like
Jean-Luc Picard is because he's old.
On the holodeck with Lily, remember when he gunned down the Borg?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but he was using the like you could kill anything with that thing.
Yeah,
it's a Tommy gun. It's a point and click thing.
So it seems like he's trained in firearms, I guess.
Everything
on that.
Jean-Luc Picard always proved that he was pretty much the best at everything whenever he tried to do it.
True.
Yeah. He was the only freshman ever to win the Academy Marathon, guys.
We go back to Eleanor.
Never heard about his piloting, and then all of a sudden, when they need him to be, he's just like, "Oh yeah, Picard's the best pilot ever." Watch him like flip around these like asteroids. It's gonna be
right,
and all that. Stuff.
In the booby trap episode.
Yeah,
the booby trap.
So we get another shot of Eleanor, and he's stabbing Borg guys. Now the Borg makeup on this guy looks like he's just starting to turn Borg, which I guess makes sense.
He's transitioning.
He's transitioning still. But
that's what I have to tell myself.
I like the fact that we got the
Makes me not
hollow
hate them
emitter
so
on
much.
his shoulder still, which I like that. I think that's going to come in play
Oh.
in the next episode. So
Ooh,
I think that's the reason why it's there.
Robert Picardo cameo. Here we go.
Well, it's not going to be a Picardo cameo, I don't think, but
Aw.
you never know. Might be.
Are we at the part where like they beamed the Borg guys into the rocks? And
That's coming up.
that's coming up. We got to talk about that.
That was bad
Oh,
CGI
coming
too.
up. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but anyway, so Elnor's like, let's cause some shit, and then everybody's like shooting at him and stuff, and he's like,
a
"I'm Elnor,
hologram!
You can't kill me.
He's
But
a hologram.
Why doesn't he just stand there?
Why would guns work on a hologram?
They can hit
Now
the
they-
emitter.
They can hit the emitter.
He doesn't
That-
need an
that
emitter. The whole
happens in
ship's
the
a
Doctor.
holodeck.
The whole ship is. a
Why does
holodeck.
he have an emitter?
I don't
That's
know.
the reason why I pointed it out. It's been there the whole time that they've introduced him. It's there, so it's going to come into play. I'm pretty sure in the next episode.
He must need it.
I guess.
I don't think he
know.
does.
I don't know.
I don't think he does.
Well,
But anyway, so yeah, he's
ridiculous.
like ducking and
Robert
corridor
Picardo for
running,
sure.
and he runs into a room that happens to have Raffi in it. And Raffi's like, Elnor?
It's the funniest way to enter a room.
Happens to have her there, and Seven's there
Just
too.
happens to have Raffi in it.
Yeah, this is the Raffi room. And
The medical
Elnor
bay.
enters it. Yeah. So anyway, she's like, "Whoa, it's Elnor," and he's like, "I'm not the real Elnor." That's like the first thing he says to her, right?
Except
And
like
he's like,
basically,
I'm gonna
because I have
crush
all
you.
his memories.
I basically know everything he knows, and I'm exactly like him in every other way.
But I'm not Elnor.
But I'm not him. I'm a hologram.
Yeah. And she's like, "Okay, I accept that. That's fine." And then
I didn't.
we figure out that the person that actually has the code
That's a
to turn the
weird
ship
shot
back
of
on,
Eleanor. What did you do to him?
He's doing
Well,
the eye thing.
he's doing the eye thing where he's hacking the computer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason why I got it. So anyway, but yeah, so he's the reason, he's the person who has the code that Jurati put in. So he's the guy that has it, so that way they can get control of the ship again. Now, this
that
is
line
where
by
another
Jurati
problem
was
I have.
awesome, though. I'm not stupid enough to memorize the code. I love that line.
Yeah, I'm not stupid enough to memorize code.
If
Well,
she
she
just
knows
like
that
hit
she
the
has
button,
access.
she's
Right?
like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom.
she's
There's
like,
the
"Here
code.
it is, Elnor, pay attention."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. So anyway, but yeah, so this scene was okay, but then it went on a tangent, and the problem that I have is the part where all of a sudden it turns into the, "I know you're not the real Elnor, but I'm going to tell you this. Why are you telling him this? How is this going to help you in any way?
Closure.
Is this
They're pushing-
closure
they're
for
pushing that-
PTSD? I don't think so, but anyway.
Was
I'm
this
getting the
Raffi
impression that Elnor
relationship a
Sorry.
thing before they decided to push it like really, really hard.
Well,
not in season 1.
Not in season 1, no, but
or
there
even in
was
season
there was
2. All of a sudden he was
They-
dead, and she's just
there
like,
was hints that they knew
"No!"
each other for a while, but that was it.
Yes, because the backstory of Elnor was that like Picard met him when they were evacuating Romulus, and him and Raffi were integral to that. And so yes, but all the
Okay,
flashbacks we
okay.
saw in season 1 were like it was all Picard and young Elnor, and we never saw Raffi interact, but it's presumable that they knew each other and they were tight, I
Okay,
guess.
that's something anyway.
Yeah, and just like this closure thing, but this leads me to believe that that Elnor is going to stay dead after
Oh,
this
yeah.
is all. He's not coming back from this.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling.
Yeah.
about
The
that
fact
too.
that 7 of 9 or Annika or whatever, she gets her Borg implants back here means to me that she's not getting back her original body. They're keeping these bodies from this other timeline or whatever. And like, so it's
Except she got hers back anyway. Yeah.
she gets it back anyway. Yeah.
So anyway, Elnor's ready to fight, and they basically have hatched this plan to do with the transporter, but we don't know what's going on with that just yet. And then all of a sudden, they start transporting Borgs, and they transport them into a wall, which I thought was interesting.
Okay, and just to stop you there for a second. Okay, so Davan, we were just saying before you joined that, like, I guess what they're presenting here in this season is this idea that that Jurati's going to become the Borg Queen that we meet in episode 1, that shows up and says, "I'm from I want to join the Federation." That we can't see her face, right? And when the Stargazer blows up and et cetera, et cetera. So therefore, they were kind of dealing with like a predestination paradox. Like this was that they were all meant to go back in. Right, it's clearly Jurati, and therefore this all happened already. Like this all is meant to happen. Okay, so therefore, if these guys are getting beamed into the walls of Chateau Picard,
fuck the butterfly
they
effect.
Still be there. They should be there.
I guess there's skeletons beamed into the wall.
I hope they show us that. If they go
Now,
back,
they
to
could
the
reverse this
original-
whole thing at the end, but we'll see.
They could, but like it seems to be like where we're going here. Like it's,
Anyway, I thought this
That's
was
another
interesting,
complaint
even
I have
though-
about this season. Actually, is what I don't like about this season is what I actually don't like about my own writing, is that it's like it has too many patterns that it sticks to, and too many scenes that
yeah, but
mirror
Star
one
Trek
another.
is about patterns anyway. There's always
Yeah,
been
like
patterns
but like
in all the writing.
yeah.
But when you're dealing with time travel, what are the rules of this particular time travel? I like to be a stickler.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I also forgot to mention something. I didn't get a shot of it. But the scene where, well, I got the original scene, but I don't got the shot of the thing that I wanted to mention, especially for Davan, because I know Davan will appreciate this more. Well, maybe Dave will too. But in the scene where we see young Picard and his mom and his dad in that room with the lemonade.
Yeah.
Did you notice on the Did you notice the model that was in the background?
No, but let me see.
It was the NX-01 refit, which we never saw on
Refit?
screen. Yeah.
How do you know it was the NX-01 refit?
If you look
What
at
makes
it,
it the
definitely is.
refit?
Can we see it in this shot? Is it in this?
Where is it? No, I don't think you can. I think it's on one of the. It's only it's right beside him. Can you see? Okay,
Oh,
so
to
where
the
his
right of
arm
him
is?
there, eh?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
his
yeah.
left. His left, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so it is actually refit because the illustrations for the refit did come out because that was supposed to be what happened in season 5 of Enterprise. Yeah. there
Oh
it is
crap! You know, you just set off another tangent,
Yeah.
Jody. Sorry, man.
Yeah, but this is the refit, and this is actually the Eagle Moss model of
With
it,
like the engineering
can get.
section put underneath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of season 5 of Enterprise,
Yes.
this whole season was supposed
know
to
where you're
happen
going
in
on this.
Enterprise season 5.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
supposed
This-
to introduce.
this is
the
actually a-
introduction of a Borg queen. And
This is a
show
loosely
that a
based
Borg queen is
representation
human.
of what was supposed to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
It's so.
Yeah, 'cause I heard
man.
Dominic Keating and Connor Trinneer were at like the Chicago Star Trek, and they're like, our season 5 would have been amazing, and like
It was gonna be crazy.
Probably
It
would
was
have
gonna
been.
be crazy.
Yeah, probably would have been.
I agree.
I don't know how
Agreed to
the
seeing
CG
It should
the
have got
CG
7.
and Enterprise would have handled all the Borg stuff, but well,
as good as this
be interesting.
episode did.
they had that one Borg episode in Enterprise, right?
I think
So
they
the only
look
thing I
better
would have
at
liked to
Enterprise
see in this
thing.
scene is when they beamed them back in for just a couple seconds, they were still alive,
Yeah, because they would be for
and then
another
have
second.
then
That
have
would have been gruesome.
then have Talon kind of jump for a second, right? Should be like, oh,
What a way to
That
kill
would-
somebody.
yeah.
Or
beam them
Picard
into
pushed them
rocks.
out of their misery like he did poor Ensign
Now
Lynch
I loved this scene.
or
I loved
Ensign
this
Hawk.
scene when she walks in and she's got the like axe crowbar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
And she's like, her and
Ronnie's
Eleanor
so
go at
good.
it, right?
Yeah,
Alison
Yeah, Alison
is
Pill-
so
Alison
good.
Alison
Pill
Pill-
she kills this season. She
She
does.
deserves a
Wow.
lot of credit for.
So they
She's
tried to beam
becoming
her
one of
off.
the great Star Trek characters, man. in
They
this
wanted
season.
they wanted to
She
beam
really
her
is.
into a wall too, but they couldn't.
Yeah,
because
she got the
has
transport
mobile-
inhibitor.
Yeah, she's got a transport
Mm-hmm.
inhibitor.
always
So
carry
with
her
that, so
inhibitor.
we end up having this nice little fight between her and Eleanor. I thought it was well done. The choreography was well done on this one.
Can I just stop you there for a sec?
Sure.
This doesn't look like Allison Pill.
No, that is clearly
Nope.
not Alison
Sure
Pill.
doesn't.
Just want to point that out. But that's
No.
that's a
Her
I
hair
don't
is
think they're
long.
going to let Alison Pill run around with a crowbar and swing at even.
Her form just didn't look good. Like that looks pretty nerdy, Allison. Can you swing that with some?
Yeah,
like,
that
fierceness?
is clearly Alison Pill there.
you weren't the slugger on the softball team, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
But if you look at this one, I don't think that's Eleanor either.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
look
yeah, I
at-
think
look
you're
at the
right. It
face.
isn't, is it?
I don't think that's him. But anyway, either way, it doesn't
You
matter.
seemed young and
This is a TV
Get
show,
in there,
guys. It doesn't
Eleanor.
matter.
Get in there, bud.
So anyway, but either way, I thought this was cool. I like this little trifecta kind of standoff thing. This was really cool. The dialogue was great, and I like the fact that they're like, "We have you dead to rights," and she's like, "Oh, do you?" Like she's surprised by this. Oh, do you? Let me tell you how you're wrong. Let me show you my serpent tentacle things. Right. So anyway, obviously
Which she
we get
uses
this-
on Eleanor the hologram.
yeah, which I guess screws him up somehow.
Okay.
But anyway, it is what it is. And then
It's Borg
she
thing,
stabs
man. They can do
Seven,
it.
and then she knocks her first, and then stabs Seven. I love the look on Alison Pill's face though. She's still got the Anne look on her, right? Like it's yeah. So
complete
with that,
Her
indifference.
switches are amazing. You're right about
she
that.
does
from last
great
episode,
on it.
man.
Oh yeah, great.
And that
and
scene where
we
she's
get-
mixing the both, where she's being the Borg Queen. What'd you say her name was again? Annie, right? Annie Wershing.
Annie Wershing.
Yeah, Annie Wershing
Well, that's
plays
the real
the
name.
Borg Queen.
Yeah.
She's doing that face, but she's crying because
She's so good at it. Yeah,
wow,
she's
she's
got her
mixing
down
the
to a
both.
T. It's fantastic. Yeah, she does great. She's really, in my opinion, she's the star of the season.
I
For
think
sure.
so.
Her and the Queen, I think, are the two. Top notch. Yeah. Now, I did like Jerry Ryan, like in pain here. She does it good in pain. And then I like the whole hands on the hips thing because that's what the Queen was doing, right? She did that a couple times in earlier scenes. So I kind of like that where you didn't see her do that too much, but she did do it once in a while. So it was kind of like a cross between the two of them, which I thought was neat.
Did you
but anyway,
fellas know that Annie now has officially the most screen time as the Borg Queen?
Yeah, well, we knew that was going to happen anyway.
Even more than like the Voyager one.
Yep, even more than forget her name
Wow.
now. Susan Thompson.
She earned it.
Susanna Thompson.
I think she's my favorite now. She's my favorite Queen now.
Mine too. Even
All-
more
and
than
that's hard to
Alice
say because all of them
Krige,
are
and
great.
that's
All the Borg
They're all
Queens, and you can throw Alison Pill in there. All four of them are.
Yeah.
They're
all
fantastic.
good.
They're all
Well, if you throw an Alison Pill in there, shit, maybe she's my favorite. Ugh.
yeah, I don't know. I still think Anne's got that one, but anyway, I like this little scene with Raffi getting thrown back. I thought that looked really cool. And then we're back into the what do they call this? An atrium?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that would be a solarium.
Solarium, you think?
Solarium.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a
solarium.
solarium.
We'll
and
go with
that's
that.
the sun. That's a solarium.
All right, fair enough.
100%.
Either way, who cares? It's the room with the windows. Anyway, or the lack thereof in the scene.
Jody, always be you.
Dude, that's who I am, man. That's all there is to it.
Who
This is
cares
the
what
room
it's called? It's the room with the
Who gives
windows.
a shit. It's got windows in it.
Look,
Anyway,
I'm a
that's all
man
we
who
need to
cares
know.
about solariums. Okay.
I'm with you. Solarium.
Yeah. So anyway, we see them. They're kind of like trapped now by Adam, and then it instantly goes back to this part here where Girardi's trying to kill Seven. And this is one of the gripes I have with this episode now, is the scene between her and basically Girardi and Raffi talking.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it takes forever. It is so long.
What?
And it keeps jumping back and forth, and it just keeps going on and on and on. Oh my god.
Is that the one where she's like
Right after
"Is that
she's
you?"
crying,
She's
and they're like,
yes, no,
yeah, yes, no.
that
yes.
one.
Yeah.
And
But
Yeah, I don't know if I'm with you on that. Like this was maybe the part I thought was good.
this part here, this whole talking back and forth thing. Oh my god, it just took too long. I'm sorry. Now I did like this. I love
was
this.
important,
The fact that
though.
she's
It was
fucking with her
important.
head too. So the fact that Girardi can fuck with her head just
Yeah.
like she fucks with hers, I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool. I like to see this where all of the Borg cubes are blowing up around her. I'm like, oh fuck, that's so cool. It's she's
I
using
thought it was
psychological
interesting
on her,
this
right?
the whole conclusion of this, the fact that like this pitch to Girardi makes to the Borg Queen, that the Borg are sort of like destined to lose, is kind of what is shown,
Mhm.
right? Like
And she's like, no, you're thinking too linear. Now we have all the information to know that we are going to have to look for that, right?
right, but
But
Girardi's like,
I like where Girardi makes the point that the Borg are actually less unified than the Federation.
Yeah.
He's like, you'll die, and guess what? We'll still be standing there unified, the Federation. Like that's ooh. Yeah.
Right.
It's
And
very
you need a
interesting.
new
But it's
approach.
voluntary. It's voluntary unification.
Yeah.
It is stronger in a way.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
a beautiful
But-
episode, fellas. I'm telling you. All the writing
I don't know if
around
I'd go
those
that far.
two, Girardi and the Borg Queen, is super smart. It's really
Now,
good.
The dialogue between Adam Sung and Picard is generally terrible in this episode. It's just
Well, I'm like,
Who's your
He's like
favorite
trying to be a
Soong
supervillain.
in this
what does
series?
Adam Soong want from Picard? Why isn't Adam Soong just shoot Picard?
He's supposed to kill him. He's
just supposed to kill him.
as soon as
That's
he
Why is
sees
he?
him.
Why this parlay? I'm still with you. Why this parlay?
Why this parlay?
Well,
If
that's a valid question.
I'm just trying to understand Adam Soong's motivations as a character. What are his motivations?
his
him
motivations is
better
to be
than the
very
other
famous
Soong character.
later on.
But his motivations are bad.
I like the Soong character from Enterprise.
Yeah, me
I like
too.
him the most.
What are Adam Soong's motivations? Exactly.
His motivation is to get popular and famous.
Okay, then
That's his
he
motive,
believed,
yeah.
and he was Borgatti sold him on this idea that
Yeah.
Picard is the man in your way.
If he kills
No.
Picard,
No.
that will
It has to do
solidify
with
what he's
Renee.
gonna have.
It has to
well,
do
it's
with
about
Renee.
Renee, yeah.
Renee's gonna discover.
Well,
something
yes,
in
but
their relevance.
Picard, but Jean-Luc
But
Picard,
Picard
is
is
the one
standing in the way of that now.
of that. So therefore, like he's at best going to convince him to walk off into the sunset and never worry about this again. It's just like I don't understand where Adam Soong's coming from at all.
I think Adam Soong's gonna get killed.
Well, he's essentially being used by Roddy at this point. Like
Yeah, I think
he
he's
might
gonna
be
get killed, but
being
we'll see
sent
what
on a.
happens.
But at the end of this episode, Borgatti flies off with La Serena and says, "See you later. See you in 400 years."
About him.
She doesn't care about Adam Soong. Like,
No,
you
I don't give
know,
a shit.
Forgot about
But
him
anyway.
already.
So anyway, we're back to the apartment with Rios. Rios is like, got it working. I'm gonna go back. Right? Which I have to say I'm surprised about this. Because I thought he was gonna stay in this time period.
No, I knew
So,
you were wrong.
We'll
Or
see.
did I agree
We'll
with
see.
you last time?
No, I still got time on this.
you know, he's going to either she's going with him or he's staying
She's going
behind.
to the future. She's
I don't
going
think
to the
I don't think she's going in the future.
What?
Because then we're really repeating everything from 4. Now, they've already done a whole bunch of
Yeah.
that, so maybe they will. Who knows? But anyway, either way, they have this, kiss thing. And then poof, he's gone. And then we go back to the, oh, wait, Picard's about to die.
Yeah, no, Adam
And-
Soong because he's supposed to kill him.
And Rio shows up. And he's like, hello, bitches. I got a gun.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he vaporizes the Borg guy that was about to shoot Picard, which I did like the vaporization.
Because he
part. I thought that was
warned
cool.
him.
Yep.
He's like, oh, by the way, the gun in your hand's about to blow up. So Soong's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So anyway, the guy drops the key. Where did that? Oh yeah, because it comes after this. So anyway, yeah. So the guy drops this key, which I thought was very reminiscent of any video game you played in the 80s. But
Oh, sure.
I guess it is what it is. But anyway, obviously this is the key that triggers Picard's memory that we find out in a minute about.
Is this a link to the past?
Could be.
Zelda 2?
Could be.
Can we just take a closer look at this key for a second? Like,
Yeah, well, I had a picture of that too, but
That's a pretty sweet
all right.
looking
You
key.
got all the pictures, Jody.
I do them in the order that they showed
That's
up
a
in the
terrible
episode.
picture.
That is a terrible picture. But anyway, so because Dave's already talked about this, but it actually hasn't happened in the episode yet. So what ends up happening is obviously they make some sort of deal. And at this point now the Borg Queen's like, okay, I'll save her. And she's
Was
like,
this the only way
"Hey,
to save
here's
her?
my tentacles.
This was the only way to save her.
You know what? I'm okay with it anyway.
Yes, because all their systems still down on the ship, so they can't like call up the medical.
Yeah.
hologram.
Yeah. So anyway, and it turns out this is basically turning her into a Borg, back into a Borg again. And then we got another one of these guys. And then he's like, I got the gun now, bitch.
Look at
I can
that.
shoot you."
That's so awkward. Look at him. It looks so weird. Holding that gun.
It's almost the same thing. All right. Anyway, so Dave's clearly impressed, as you can tell. But anyway, he's got this gun, and then Rios is like, well, anybody can fire it, but to take the safety off, you have to be obviously has to have your DNA. And it just blows up if you don't. So you're stupid. And Rios is like, it's gonna go big boom. Right? That's literally
for
what
the
that
last
was.
like 2 or 3 episodes, Rios has not been doing it for me.
No,
really.
me neither. But anyway,
Early in the season, he was pretty good. Like,
yeah, he
pretty
was.
good.
Yeah. Once he met this girl, I think that's where things went downhill. But anyway, But anyway, so anyway, Adam Soong throws it in the air. It blows up in the air, And then he runs off and he's gone. Like, we don't even see him. We don't see a reminiscence. So we know he didn't blow up.
How is he going to get out of... Yeah, he's in France. How is he going to get home?
Yeah. I'm sure he can fly. The guy's rich. Like, we know he's rich.
He doesn't even have his passport.
How do you know?
Well, okay, maybe he does.
Maybe he does have a passport.
That was quite the
How do you
assumption to make.
Maybe he
has
just
no
goes
passport
to
on
maybe
him
he goes to the
whatsoever.
embassy and gets another passport, Dave. Did you think of that? Maybe
It
he's
seems
got
like
the number for the embassy with
Anything
him.
I bring up, you guys are like, no, it doesn't. You don't know what's happening, Dave. I'm like,
Well, no,
okay,
'cause neither
I guess
do we.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
We don't know
Go on,
anything
you
either,
were
Dave.
following the
Guys, go
location
on.
of his passport.
Let me hear it.
all
Let's
season.
hear.
He's
Wow,
like,
someone's
look.
triggered.
Dave's like, look. In episode 3, he placed his passport on La Serena. But in
I'm just
episode
saying he's not
5,
exactly-
He took his passport and placed
He's
it
not
in the
exactly on his home
hospital.
turf.
And-
That's all. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
No, not wrong. Yeah. Anyway, so we see Seven come to her senses, I guess, and she's now got the Borg implants back in her head, which conveniently look identical to the ones that she already had. Which I thought
Oh,
was
is that what
kind of
that
interesting.
signified? I totally missed that. I just thought it brought her look back for some reason, but
No, it's literally the exact same
thing.
thing. She's got the thing here,
Okay.
and then she's got the thing over her eye. She's got the glove thing. But anyway, either way, it's fine. But I liked how they did the contrast. We saw the one hand, then we saw the other one. I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, it's just supposed to show us that she's still, got human in her, I guess. And then Picard's like, "Oh, that thing blew up good." And then he's like, "Oh, there's the key." Now, Dave, maybe yours was a better shot. I don't know.
Do I have it?
I tried to get the details, but
Mine is a better shot, actually.
is yours a better shot? No, I don't think it is. It's literally the exact same shot.
Same shot.
It's literally the same shot, Dave. Wow, it is almost the exact
Mine
frame.
pops a little more.
I don't think so. I think
But moving
yours
on.
is on a white background. That's the only difference.
No, he's right. It is a little bit closer. Yep.
Which
that's
one?
the good
This one's
right
mine.
there.
That's
one's
Jody's.
mine.
This is the other one.
Oh,
This is
Jody's
mine.
That's
is
Dave's.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine's a
Jody's
dark
is
background.
better.
His is the white background.
I think just like
Anyway.
the detail on the key is like
Anyway, the detail on the key is neat. It doesn't tell us anything. It's just a fancy design on a key.
it's a fancy key.
But anyway, we find out that that's the key that actually opens that white door. What's
Yes.
behind the white door, guys?
Mama.
You
Is
don't
it
want to know.
Mama? Is it
Mama!
Mama? Oh, there's Mama.
Oh,
Blurry.
So did I
There's
miss
Mama.
something? Why does he blame himself? He says if I hadn't opened
Because
that
he
door-
unlocked the door that allowed her in. She wasn't actually behind the door. She was in the door because that door went to the bedroom that she was locked in. But what he's
Yeah.
saying is that because I let her out of the bedroom, she went and hung herself in the atrium.
Oh, okay.
or
okay.
the place
I
with the
thought he opened the
windows.
door and she was already hanging in there. And I'm like, well,
No,
then what
no,
does the door have to do with anything?
It's a
But-
symbolization
Okay, I
thing, but he goes.
Okay.
He takes the other door that goes to the place with the windows that you call a solarium, and
Definitely a solarium.
that's where he saw her hanging. Which there she is there.
Yeah, see,
Which
if
I
your
thought
roof is
was.
glass. It's a solarium.
I can't say that I saw this coming, even though I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming. It was a shock when I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. Don't
You know
see
what's
too much
weird,
of
though?
that. Don't see too much of that in Star Trek.
He runs away and she's still sort of writhing and moving like she's still alive.
She's just spinning, like she's.
She's
just
she's
swinging.
moving her arms and shit.
What is
Yeah,
this? Why? Is
I
why-
don't
because
know.
she had a mental illness, right?
No, but why give this to the Picard backstory? What is it?
Because
what-
mental illness is the main theme of this series, or at
Yeah.
least season.
okay.
Because every Star Trek
They mention
since
it constantly.
since Enterprise has to have some sort of extra thing in it, with the exception of Lower Decks. Lower Decks doesn't.
Lower
do that.
Decks is the greatest show of all time.
And that's probably why everybody enjoys Lower Decks when it comes to Lower Decks versus the other stuff. Like I like Lower Decks better than I like all the other new series.
But even
Oh,
Lower
yeah.
Decks has like some
Oh, of
Star
course it
Trek
does.
has some moments in it, but yeah,
course.
less so, I'd say.
But it's not as woke or whatever you want to call it, or whatever the kids want to call it these days. But I did like this scene where you have little Picard walking with the Rock, and he's like kind of doing his thing, and he's going into the solarium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Solarium.
Atrium, solarium, whatever. Anyway, and he hurls that fucking rock, and he's pissed about it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hurl the rock." I did like this scene though. I did like the fact that she comes over, embraces him. He openly embraces her back. He's getting it. That's one of the reasons why he doesn't love, right?
Her character is the one that bothers me the most about having the same actors play different characters, though. I'm like, having her just show up as like a Charlie 7.
Well, I think, the fact that they showed that she was Romulan leads me to believe that the one that we know is her, and she was assigned to Picard after.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, I think
saved it all for me, Jody. Thanks.
They're gonna. I think that's ultimately we're gonna find out that Talon and Laris are one and the same.
They're the same person, but this person here doesn't know about that yet.
Yeah, it hasn't happened to her yet.
Back in the past.
Yes.
Right.
And that's why she loves him in the future.
But why
that would be the obvious thing.
How she's still alive 400 years is something they're going to have to explain away, but
we don't know how long these Charlie 7 types live.
That might happen in the next episode, because maybe she comes with them, and then they get separated later, and then
they can make up any reason they want.
They can really fuck around with all they want. Yeah. She actually could be the one that goes into the future. We don't know.
I thought I was still drinking beer. That wasn't beer.
Uh-oh.
What was it?
Anyway.
Blood wine? Was it
Tranya? I drank it like beer, but it was whiskey this time.
Oh, well. Well, this podcast is about to get a little bit more weird. Anyway. But anyway, you see him, he throws the rock and it breaks the atrium, which gives us the reason why all the shards of glass are all over the place that were painted. Yeah. Right? Because we didn't really know what that was. We just assumed it was decay over time and stuff like that. I never knew that. So I don't know if you guys clued into that, but I never knew that. I just figured it was maintenance. This thing's been sitting dormant for ages and all that, right? So, and when he picked up the little piece of rose glass, he remembered painting with his mother. And
hold on, guys, I gotta take a quick bathroom break.
Okay, well, enjoy. All right. Anyway.
And I'm the
just goes to show you
the whole time. Where's he going?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, we get this nice shot we get this kind of nice.
Yeah, this is a nice shot, isn't it?
Peaceful shot. I liked it, even though we know that this is not the shot that we're going to end with. But, and here's Borg Jurati. And she's like, okay, your turn to give me a part of the deal. Deal is I get the ship. Get off.
I really like this, what they're doing with these two. Like creating this new entity. Like, yeah. I thought it was cool that they brought the Borg.
I hope we see more of her.
But I also thought it was kind of played out.
If they fucking kill her or make it so she's gone after the season, I'm going to be pretty pissed about this.
No,
I want to see her next season.
Again. I think her flying off is I don't think we're going to.
You think that's going to happen? Eh? You don't think we're going to see?
Well, we already seen it. No,
we technically have, but yeah. Well, at least we think.
Oh well, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. But
so anyway, they're like
the concept of creating this new entity. I think that's very.
Yeah, me too. I do like that. And so anyway, Jurati beams them off the ship. They end up in this field, and then they see the La Sirena get pulled out of the ground, and fucking Rios shows up just in time to go.
No more Jurati.
Oh! Like, I'm surprised he didn't do this. But anyway, like, you can tell he's a little upset about the fact that his ship's gone. But I think they should be more upset. Like, this is their ticket home.
Now he's just like, you know what? I am gonna stay in the past.
But I think they're gonna pull a first contact where how Geordi and Riker went up in Zefram Cochrane's ship. I think they're gonna do the same thing with the Europa mission. That's my theory.
Who's gonna be on the Europa mission?
These guys are gonna go on the Europa mission and then steal a shuttle or something. And then
it's not even gonna be Renee.
Or who knows? Yeah. Well, they said there has to be 2 Renees.
What is the deal with that? What does that even mean?
Who's the other Renee? Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking Renee needs to be in 2 places at one time.
That succeeds and have a fake Renee.
So maybe there's a Renee there's going to be a Renee that is going to stay
Dave,
and a Renee that goes up.
What's the deal with this has to be 2 Renees thing? It's very confusing.
What I'm sort of thinking it is that obviously the Renee that lives is the Renee Picard of this century. Sure. I think the Renee that dies.
And she discovers the thing that whatever puts.
Oh, 2 Renees. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think the
other Renee is the kid that died.
The nephew that dies in the fire with Robert.
There has to be 2 Renees.
What?
Which means you have to keep Renee alive.
What I think
They're
it's
not
just that
talking about little Renee. Why
Yeah.
would they be talking about little Renee?
That's
What
the
does
second
that have
Renee.
to
I
do
don't know.
with
I
anything?
don't know why, but
That's not a bad
sort of-
theory.
That's sort of where
No,
my
that
my
can't be
mind
it.
went when
I
like
thought that
that's-
too, but then I was like, no, that's stupid. That doesn't make sense.
You know what's
It's
stupid?
like- no, but like,
Naming
what
the
does it
same
have to do with
character
this
twice the
story?
same
You know what I
name.
mean? It's just like, okay, so your nephew burns to death in a fire in like 400 years from now, but what does that have to do with this story?
I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
the other Renee. There
But-
has to be two Renees.
I guess
She
that,
has to live.
that you can't change the past
No,
or something,
that
or you can't
be
change.
it. That
I don't
can't
know.
be what they're doing.
Well,
I
maybe
like
not.
Jody's idea of one of them's just going to pretend to be Renee Picard and do something else.
Yeah. Or maybe, well, I wonder if they could use the hollow emitter to make another Renee.
They probably could.
But why does one need to succeed and one need to? This is so confusing. This plot.
Maybe
point.
to confuse Q.
You can't confuse an omnipotent being.
Still can't figure out what Q.
But he's lost most of his powers at this point.
Like it's the
He's
last
so
episode only
useless
gave
in
me an
this
hour.
season. I'm telling you, I love.
But that's
Q
the
and
point of
his
him being
scenes, but he's
useless in
so
this season.
useless in this season.
Yeah.
He
But
doesn't need to
anyway,
be here at all.
we see
I
the
still don't understand what he's
Serena
doing.
fly off. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
really
he
get it,
doesn't
but
need to be
anyway.
here at all.
Well, we got one episode for them to tie it up, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, clearly he's going to be in the next one.
I'm wondering if next week's episode is going to be longer. I'm hoping it is.
I think it needs to
hope
be
so.
because they have a lot to wrap up here.
They got a lot of
sure
shit to get
do.
through. Yeah.
They have to do the
So
whole
anyway,
Renee
Picard's
thing. And the
Picard's
Q.
like, 7, you have shit on your face again. And
crap.
he's like,
I thought
"Oh."
it was beer again.
Yeah. And he's like, it's good that you're alive or something, is what he says. It's like, okay, anyway. And then he's like, so we got to stop this, guys. But we've lost our ability to go back home. We don't have technology, and we're in the middle of France.
True.
Well, but at least Adam soon will get home easier.
Yeah. Adam Soon's got a good way to get home.
We're
We're gonna have to catch
He
a ride
has his
with him.
passport. It is combat fatigues.
I'm not totally sure why Rios had to look back.
I mean, he screwed up the parlay plan, but
Yeah, but anyway, and then we see obviously Girardi take the ship, and it's gone, and she's gone, just like this episode. It is now dead.
But how intriguing is that point, though? Like, now we have this Girardi Borg Queen new entity thing that doesn't want to be so malevolent. Now off 400
yeah.
years in the past. Like, how does that
Scraps.
change? That's going to change the future. So whatever future they go back to is going to be like so different just because of that.
But
Not because of
unless
what
this
they
is predestination paradox, and this all happened
This
already,
was all supposed to happen. It's already happened. Yeah.
and they're not changing the past.
So if Girardi goes off and spends 400 years doing whatever, and then becomes the Borg Queen that we see in the first episode of this season,
Yep.
and that was the whole predestination paradox there,
Yes.
that doesn't explain what she does for those 400 years at all.
Well, they haven't
Well,
explained.
maybe
it yet.
she changes. Maybe she changes the Borg.
Or they're like this other offshoot. They're like
But
another.
we
Borg.
hadn't seen that. If
Yeah,
No,
they could be.
those
They could be
400
the.
years have happened.
Maybe this is the new lore version of the Borg.
Yeah, like I think it could be
Like
like
a separate
it's
sect
not
of
the
the
main
Borg.
collective. I think this is like somehow going.
It's like
I
a
don't
side
know,
collective or something.
what she was doing for 400 years, picking up scraps, as the Borg Queen says, is like kind of picking up people who are lost and weary souls, I guess, and helping.
So
them
are we just
find-
gonna see in Star Trek this like all of a sudden rogue branch of the Borg pop out, and they're like, "Yeah, this is."
Well, I think what's
Girardi's-
going to happen is I think next season is going to be the season where they fight the Borg. Because when you think about it, they're bringing back the next gen crew, right? So
Riker fights the Borg.
Riker
Riker's the
fights
big
the
hero.
Borg, stuff like that.
Mr.
you
Worf,
know?
fire.
Yeah, Mr. Worf, fire. Yeah, no, it's I think that's what we're going to. I think this was planned out well in advance for this because they wanted to return all the characters. And I think this is supposed to give them their proper send off, right? Because let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
I like Nemesis, but it's not a good send off movie.
no, it wasn't
It's no
supposed to
insurrection.
be. It wasn't supposed to be.
Insurrection
the
is
last movie.
garbage. Insurrection
Gee.
is hot garbage.
Get out of here, man.
It is. It is hot garbage. I don't know why everybody loves it.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
that's for
I
another thing.
just think it's better
I
than
watched
Nemesis.
it and I just
It
feel
is
good
a
about
terrible
myself.
episode that they stretched out and made into a movie.
No, it's
And
a great episode that they stretched
It is
out and
garbage.
made into an okay
It is
movie.
it is basically Inner Light with what's the other episode that they had?
No, if anything's overrated,
it's literally
Inner Light.
3 episodes of Next Gen put together and made into a movie.
People act like Inner Light's the greatest.
It's so
thing ever, and
boring.
like,
They
it's
didn't have
okay.
anything for Beverly Crusher to do.
Did you notice that your boobs are getting firmer though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I have noticed actually, Dave. I rub them with olive oil constantly.
Yeah, like the Crusher never has
Yes.
anything to do in those movies. Let's face it. Like,
Have you noticed how your boobs have started to firm up? Not that
Yeah,
we
you
care
get
about
one
such
of
things
those-
in this day and age.
Twitch
Not that
machines
we
also
care about
that
this
just
thing
go
in
like,
day and age. Excuse me, you just mentioned it. If you mentioned it,
and like work
if
it
you
out
mentioned
for
it, you still care about it.
yeah.
Look, you
Another
need to
reason
have
why
a good
Insurrection
pack
sucks.
to put your com badge on. You don't
The
want a
enemies
weak
of
pack.
Insurrection
You have
suck.
to have that your com badge. sitting on a
Everything.
nice, firm
Can-
pack.
Can we rate this episode?
Yes, let's just rate this episode. This is going down.
All right,
really
hide and
fast.
seek. What are we giving this?
You guys
Jody,
go first,
Dave.
so I can tell you guys how you're wrong.
Dave goes first.
I'm gonna give. Oh,
I'm putting him on the spot.
Well, Dave's is first in the order of the list there, so it also makes sense if you're reading.
6.2. I think it was better than last week's.
Wow.
you gave last week a
Best.
4.8, Jody. So let's.
Yeah, well, I'm
guys
not
are-
saying it's much
You guys
better.
are
I'm just saying it's better.
hardcore.
I'm gonna give this a 6.5.
6.5. Okay.
What did
Davin,
I give last week?
6.
6.
Oh, this one gets an 8.
An 8. It should be a 10 based on how you were talking about it earlier. This
So,
was the second coming of
You know,
Christ,
I
for
could
Christ's
easily
sake.
give it a 9,
Well, you can give it a
but
9
only
if
Do
you
in
it
like
if you-
comparison to itself. In comparison to Deep Space Nine or something, it's still probably like a 4.
But if you give this a 9, then I already know you're full of shit because
no, but
You want to meet in the middle,
at
8.5? Do you feel like you could go 8.5 on
you
it?
do what you want to do. I don't care.
I'll go 8. 8.
Okay.
Solid
Alright.
8.
We don't
I
have
mean,
that
like
yet.
a 9 coming in, and then you guys soured a bit of a point off of it.
We brought you brought me up. I was gonna come in. I was gonna give this a lower rating coming in. So
Well,
you
then
brought
we
me
had a
up. I brought you
balancing
down.
effect on each other.
You brought
And
me
then
up a bit.
The middle
Too.
ground between us is probably more closer to the truth.
I
so
probably
that's
would have gave this a 5.5, maybe a 6. But after you mentioned the one scene that I thought was totally useless, you did clue
good.
me
I can
into
list off
one
5
thing that happened.
things right now that make this episode great.
No,
Like it has a
Go.
lot of good stuff going for it.
But we were right that the director of this episode is the director of the next episode. They're continuing with this like whole
Yeah.
doubles
2
effect
each.
here.
Yeah,
Two-
2 each.
This
for
two-
Weaver fella, is it like something Weaver?
Michael Weaver. Yeah.
Michael Weaver.
Yeah, I noticed that name. I'm
and-
like, I never heard that before. So
And then the writers of this episode, Matt Okamura and Chris Derrick, I've never seen these names in the credits.
Yeah,
No.
don't know who they are.
everything
they're
about
new.
this is foreign. Where's
Yeah.
Frakes?
I'm just glad it's not Jane Maggs.
Yeah, no, I think
No
this was
offense to her. I'm sure she's a lovely person.
Jane Maggs and this Cindy Apple too. I'm not so sure because this is kind of when the season took a turn for me when
Who
these
wrote
two
the first
writers.
episode?
Who wrote the first episode? It was Akiva
Yeah.
Goldsman and Terry Metalis.
Oh, bring them back. That episode was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, and then they kind of like fell off, and then these other writers, like it's been like a real eclectic bunch of writers here. Like Cindy Apples and Jane Maggs have been sort of here.
It's
in the
like a
middle quite bit.
sampler.
Where's
Yeah.
Frakes?
Sometimes you get good things. Sometimes
Frakes
you
is
get bad.
Wait,
Frakes
where's
directed.
Leah Thompson? Leah Thompson was directing the shit out of it too.
Yeah, director wise, yeah,
That's
we
director. Yeah.
had. So the first 2 episodes were directed by Doug Aronofsky, and then Leah Thompson took the next 2, and then Frakes
then
had the
Frakes.
next 2, and then
Yeah.
Joe Menendez, and now Michael Weaver is the newest director. And he
You
has
know
the
what? I thought
finale
the
as well.
direction of this episode was actually quite good. There were a
Yeah, the
lot
direction
of
was
Direction
fine.
was decent. Yeah.
I think that like just
There was
where,
far too much jumping back and forth, but past that it was
Yeah.
all right.
like I
in
liked
that
it better
whole
than last week, but
pattern
only
thing.
marginally. So anyway,
It's better
I
than
don't think-
last week.
I don't think the
but-
finale.
Definitely.
What's the
so
the
is lighting
title-
my ball hair on fire, but that
I get
doesn't
the
make
sense
it any
that
different.
Whoa.
the title of the finale must be some kind of a spoiler or some kind of a thing because they haven't.
Yeah,
announced
because
What
they're
is
not
it?
telling anybody. We're not telling anybody.
Well, they never do. Like every time we do one of these podcasts,
No, we've
Dave
known
figures
about
out
what the
title
names
the
were
day
for a
before.
while.
We knew about hide and seek a week ago. We don't know what the title of next week
we have
is.
no idea what next week's is. So I'm guessing it's going to be something like Riker's Best or something like that. Like it'll be, it'll be something that we'll see. Something
it's going to be called Worf to the fucking rescue.
No.
Oh, then I'm here. I'm here for it.
Worf ain't showing up this season. I'll tell you right now. He was never seen on set this season. So
well, because it was secret.
If we see they didn't keep any secrets. We knew everybody that was going to be in
this season. I disagree.
Well, you're going to be wrong.
This Patak just robbed my quarters.
Yes.
And another thing I'm going to go on record and saying, and I don't care what anybody says, Worf is not as good of a character as everybody makes him out to be.
Are you?
What?
Oh,
the Titans will be fighting.
Jody, I am going to fight you. Let's fight right now.
You can fight me all you want.
Worf is my favorite character ever.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's like one of the top.
You can have a favorite. There's nothing wrong with that.
TV movie history, man.
But everybody makes out that Worf is some fucking fantastically written character, and he's not. So
because he is in DS9.
Yes, he is.
TNG, he is not.
TNG is terrible. DS9 he's much better. But once you throw the romance in with him, it is terrible writing again.
Oh, his romance is great.
What happened to your heart, Jody? Every time something comes in that is supposed to pull at the heartstrings, Jody's like, I hate this. You know what sucks? Jubilee. Ernest young
Jubilee
children.
does suck.
You know what? That pisses me right off.
Jubilee does suck. She was the most annoying in the animated series.
Oh my god. Jody, we're gonna fix you, bud.
You and Jeff, you have that in common. You get.
No, it's called
They're
being
cold-hearted
reasonable.
monsters.
Yeah.
It's called I didn't have the Worf bed sheets and I didn't wish I could go all gay up on him. Okay, like it's just that's who he is, and that's fine.
You think Worf's gay?
No.
Oh,
I just meant if you could sleep with a Klingon, Worf would be your pick.
Right.
Yeah. See,
Not every
you never
relationship
met
has to
Kalar?
end like a Klingon opera.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Just
the ones that are important.
Just the ones that are important. That's right.
Let's not even start talking about Kalar.
Okay, well, Jeddah Dax is the true love of his life. Let's face it.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. We've rated the episode. We've rated the episode.
Miles O'Brien.
We've broken this down.
Miles O'Brien is a great character.
Then what? Oh
But
my
not
God,
on
that's the most
TNG.
contradictory shit I've ever heard. Let's end this episode.
You think O'Brien is better than is less?
No, I think O'Brien's amazing, but I don't know how you can think O'Brien's amazing and not think Worf is amazing. They're amazing.
Does Worf have a statue?
Reason.
Well, in the hall.
Maybe. Probably.
Maybe.
He's the guy who friggin' knighted
I think he can get a
Tarkov.
statue.
But you know what? O'Brien has a statue. That's all I'm saying.
Well, O'Brien's the
Mic
most
drop.
important man in Starfleet history, but Worf's a pretty close third or fourth.
Do you have any comments, Dave?
No comments.
No comments. Okay, cool.
No comments. So anyway,
This has been an
let's talk.
animated
That's fine.
episode.
this has been an episode to remember. This has been an affair to remember.
I warned you
Worf
guys
sucks.
as soon as I arrived. But
Worf
yeah.
sucks. But
What?
You know what doesn't suck?
Oh,
Other
I'm
things
never
on
coming
this
back
channel.
here.
What? Like on Mondays we talk about Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes.
Does that
Yes,
does
we
that
do.
suck?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well. Yes.
Jody of House Who Gives a Fuck.
Anything.
Jody of
Worf is the best character in Star Trek history.
I am
And
not a
I
married
am not
man.
a married man right now.
Whatever. You know what sucks more than Worf?
What?
Action figure Worf.
I am not a married man.
And he also sucks at trivial debates too. Just gonna go out there and say that. Anyway,
All right.
Worf couldn't have won that
Monday
debate.
nights, Star Trek Enterprise, of course, and then on right now we got one more week of Star Trek Picard, and then Star Trek Strange New Worlds starting up on May 5th.
Indeed.
So we covered.
I'm
those
looking
ones.
forward to it, but I'm almost positive I'm going to be disappointed.
I think you're. I don't think you're gonna like it, Jody. I have a good feeling.
I'm
but,
looking forward to it though. I love the concept of it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We're gonna see what happens.
And the guy that plays Pike, I love that guy.
Anson Mount.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good. This
Yeah,
one.
he's a
he's
good
good.
actor.
He's
Good
a good
actor.
actor. So we're gonna be checking that out, and then of course Star Trek Deep Space Nine rewatch series is on hiatus at the moment, but we'll be coming back probably in probably a month or so. Or maybe a
Oh,
little
you
less
guys
than that.
can't sit around and talk about how awesome Morph is. All right. Anyway,
Well,
I'm
I'm always
talking about it right now.
you guys are so triggered. You
yeah.
guys are so triggered.
I'm pretty upset about this, to be honest with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take it off air.
I am Worf, son of Moog.
That's right.
Yeah, and nobody cares.
Like,
but
he's
anyway,
possibly the greatest Star Trek character, man. He's got more
Oh,
development
you were
than any
so
Star
wrong.
Trek character in history. Oh my god.
What's that, Worf? What do you think about Jody?
His opinion is of no consequence.
Right.
that's fine.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Right. Do I smell a
If
piece
you
of
like
rotting
Worf, you like
pork in
Worf.
here?
That's fine.
I called you a dung beetle.
I called you a dung beetle.
Yeah, you're really selling me on how awesome he is. But anyway,
Oh, man,
Well, but how can you not love Worf?
what great
Okay.
dialogue.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but it's okay. Anyway, so that's
You know,
check
you
out
can
Super-
be wrong. You're entitled to your really friggin' wrong opinion there, Jody.
I know. You guys can be in love with
It takes
Worf,
all
it's fine.
sorts. It takes all sorts. Yes.
That's right.
Anyway,
There's
so
characters for everybody.
check out our other two channels, Super Mario Brothers Podcasting, where we cover TVs and movies and shows that are not related to Star Trek, including tonight. I'll be on later on with Jaemeel Robinson to talk about the Week 9 eviction on Big Brother Canada 10. We're getting down to the final 4. There's one more week left of that show. And then also Survivor Season 42. We're down to the final 8, I guess, now. And we cover that every Wednesday over there on Super Mario Brothers Podcasting, including next week. We'll be talking about, it will be the weekend of May 7th. We're going to be talking about Moon Knight as well as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
A week
both of
before
those.
you
Looks like it's gonna be
arrive to
fun.
the homeland, is that not
Yes.
correct?
Until I come to the fatherland, yes.
The
I will
homeland?
be- yes, to
You're
Nova
gonna have it
Scotia.
hard- You're gonna find it hard to
Where
believe.
they love their
This is
wharfs.
God's country.
And
they
their
love
fish.
Worf.
We love our
Glory.
wine,
Glory to our
Whatever.
house.
salt,
Glory to your
sprayed
house
air.
of wine and wharf.
Yes, we're gonna be talking about it all over there on Super Mario Bros. Podcasting, and then Trivial Debates coming up this Sunday. Actually,
Hosted by Sam Jerka himself.
Sam Jerka himself. We had a late minute substitution here, guys. I don't know if you know
What?
because Chris
What?
Seymour was supposed to be in this episode, but
And
he
then Chris
dropped.
Seymour clued in that he probably has to work that day or something.
No, Kristen told him he had to go to a birthday party for his grandchild. That
well,
he
that's
didn't know
important.
about. So Kevin Millard jumping
Chris
in here.
Seymour's a grandfather?
Oh yeah,
Well, step grandfather.
step grandfather, but
Yeah. We got Eamon Mater, also known as Sam Jerka, hosting with Kevin Millard, Matt George, and Tim Seymour competing, guys. We got some
I got
interesting.
$10 on Kevin Millard. Tell you that right
Yeah,
now.
Kevin Millard is the favorite
I got
for this.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee you there's going to be size.
There will be size.
There's going to be a lot of size.
There's gonna be a lot of size. We got what
Tim
is the best?
Seymour and Kevin Millard on the same podcast. Good luck with that.
What is the best movie trilogy? We got what television series has long overstayed its welcome and should end?
The Simpsons.
Yeah, coming from a Simpson. That's
Best movie trilogy, Captain America.
was it?
Yeah. Well, I think that would be a good argument.
Best movie trilogy? Oh,
Yeah,
there's
in
so
the
many,
music
though.
category, what music genre should be banned?
Electronic noise.
I would go polka. Sports is I don't watch sports, but which sport should I start watching and why?
Water
Rugby.
polo.
Water polo, best sport ever.
Yeah, right. Water polo. You're right.
Yeah, I thought it was just a bunch of guys screwing around in a pool,
Screwing
but
around in a pool.
it's coming up, and then we also got
Enterprise reference.
How deep is the pool? Deep enough that you
Deep
can't
enough that
touch
they
the
can't touch the
bottom.
bottom.
Whoa.
it's one
All
part.
right, man.
Think of it as one part basketball, one part swimming, and one part wrestling. Best sport in the world.
Water
Sport in the
polo.
world.
One
Who is
part
the most
eroticism, but you know.
who is the most infamous woman is our history question, and then what
That's a hard one.
restaurant would
Maggie Thatcher.
the wild card? What restaurant could you eat at for the rest of your life, and why? So that's what's coming
Wow.
up on Trivia.
Actually, in the
Debates.
modern context, the most infamous woman is probably Amber Heard.
Yeah, right now, anyway. Anyway.
Oh, so check out Davan's podcast. He's got Locutors of Trek, and he's got
Oh, hey, guess what? I just finally released that episode I've been talking about for a month and a half or more.
there you go. Better late than never.
Locutors.
Check out our
Locutors.
finally we have
Trek.
our space episode up there. It's up there.
Locutors
Oh,
of
and as you were
Trek.
about to say, check out my X-Men podcast as well.
And
X-Men podcast is good.
X-rated. As they say.
Where they
It's a
seem to
good
think
show.
that Jubilee is good, but some other people disagree.
I'm okay with Jubilee.
As you realize, Jody's wrong about most things. So check out X-rated, the X-Men animated podcast, so we can tell you how awesome Jubilee is.
Check out the Hellbound podcast, also with Michael.
We even talk about Worf on my X-Men podcast because he's so good.
Yeah, there you go. The glory to your house. Also check out Michael Chan and Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn on the Hellbound podcast, as well as check out Let's Talk About Fighting Games with Sam Jerka, also known as Eamon Mater. They talk about Mega Man. They talk about King of Fighters.
And, do they talk about Mega Man? That's not a fighting game.
I don't know. I don't moderate.
Ask Dave to list 3 fighting games. I bet he couldn't.
I'm not on that podcast.
He's not
I
in
just
that
plug
stuff,
it,
man.
I just plug it. I don't know.
His kid, man.
Soul Calibur would be the game I'd want to talk about.
Look, he's just Dad Jerka.
I'm Dad Jerka. I'm not Sam Jerka.
He's King Jerka.
King Jerka.
Anyway, guys, I have to run and see who got evicted on Big Brother Canada. So
hopefully it was Worf.
It wasn't Worf. He's not even Canadian. Russian. So we're gonna get out of here, guys, and we'll see you next time here for the finale of Star Trek Picard season 2, episode 10 coming up. It's titled to be
Worf is in season 3.
And we'll go out on a quote here. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Davan. Thank you, Worf.
Thank you.
And,
no offense to any Worf fans out there.
Yeah,
except for you two. I'm okay with offending you two.
Thank you for listening to us for an hour and a half about an episode that was 55 minutes. All right, here we go.
45 if you don't guess the credits.
My father used to say, there are 1,000 ways to die.